Border Flea here on a low population TG station server, which means I ended up being promoted to chief engineer because I was the only person who set it as a low job priority, which is apparently higher than no priority. However, I didn't actually care about running my department because this time I rolled Heretic, which basically consists of playing Easter egg hunt and then magical stunlock serial killer. Complicating things further is that the engineering department has a solid 3 or 4 other players on a server with like 10 people total, so setting the whole station on fire seemed like an unlikely proposition for trader success. Furthermore, I kind of wanted to give Heretic an honest spin because I never really played it much before. On my way out, I saw one of my engineering staff act like a traitor by stealing my magnetic boots, but to be honest, I didn't even really care. I went and grabbed the chef's knife because honestly, as a heretic, I needed a knife, and I didn't know that you could just turn broken glass and some gauze into your own knife. It ended up being a happy mistake because I found a piece of fragmentic reality I drew some power from. I bought a book of matches and looked to see if I could find any more reality fragments around. I snipped the camera and drew a rune out in the open because, to be honest, I'm pretty reckless, and then began snooping around for more Easter eggs after transmuting myself a sickle using the knife and a match. I saw another engineer acting kinda weird, probably a heretic himself, but I wasn't about to play things out with him like it was Heretic Highlander or something. The rest of the department's engineers were really doing their jobs, and our atmospheric technician asked if we got the special matter engine up yet. I wasn't about to actually do my job, so I delegated responsibility and provided encouragement using similar word choice that Debbie probably used before doing Dallas. Given the sheer quantity of engineers on the server, most of my sacrifice options were members of my own department. But out of a sense of loyalty for my team, I decided to save them for last and selected the chief medical officer as my target instead. The CMO seemed like a good officer who was doing her job pretty well, but I had my own job to do pretty unwell, which was assassinate her. I shocked myself on an electric fence somebody put up in maintenance for some reason, and then broke into the station psychologist office, which was vacant, as it should be, because this isn't some medium RP server where people need someone to pretend to talk to about spaceman feelings or other such nonsense. I stumbled upon the CMO, and when I realized I was spotted, I decided to just cancel the kill attempt, but she came out and said hi. I employed the Ted Bundy serial killing technique of saying some stupid shit to throw off my target and then attack while they're typing a response. Even after I deployed that dirty trick, she almost got away, but I managed to finish the job. I was locked out of medical, but I was able to lockpick the door and drag her back to the psychologist office, which, to be honest, is the perfect place to stash your victims because nobody's going to use that place. Probably should have taken her ID card too, but oh well. My next target was a scientist, so I started creeping around, but unfortunately this scientist was actually doing his job in toxins and caught me off guard. This time I was too flustered to use the Ted Bundy method and just lunged straight at the guy like a moron, which is probably why Ted Bundy was a serial killer while I was merely a killer. The fucking oxygen canister of all things saved this dude's life because he used it like a shield to block me from getting green flame handsy with him. And not only that, but he was able to run about as fast as I could, dragging that thing behind himself while we did 2 laps in the central hallway like it was Benny Hill with absolutely no one around to see us. The smart move would have been probably to run off, get my hard suit, and hide out in space until things blew over, but I wasn't that smart. Tried using my walk through walls spell, but found out it doesn't work like a bunny hop exploit, and my mistake gave him time to yell for help. I decided to try to cut him off and ran straight into the head of security, who promptly put me down while Jeffrey provided commentary. After putting an end to my would-be spree, the head of security beheaded me with his axe and went so far as to debrain me. Well, that was that. My CMO kill was surprisingly effective for how sloppy it was because the head of security knew something was amiss, but as far as I knew, never found the CMO's body. That's why you always stash them in the psychologist office. Also, the atmospheric technician used a pretty good layout in the turbine room.